We
Yeah.
never met in person actually, but I don't know, we felt the connections, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing that. And then we just decided, you know what? Let's bring this DM private conversations, to life. So so we can share our thoughts and everything with people who love the culture, but also were like following us. So
Mhm.
I would like to start with an introduction. So please introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from, what are the Afrodance styles that you were teaching, for how long, and then yeah, let's go.
All right. So, hello everyone, whoever's in here so long. My name is Kay. I'm all the way from South Africa, but I currently live in China. South Africa, born and raised, but moved to China in 2019. Been a dancer since 2008, really. Been teaching professionally, like for the past 6 years, specifically in the Southeast Asian region. Um, and obviously, I've traveled around a bit. I've done Europe. I did Europe last year for the first time. I did a bit of East Africa. I teach workshops when I'm back home as well in South Africa when I go visit. But yeah, obviously my style is Amapiano, but obviously my
Hey.
base is more of the other street dance style that exists in South Africa, which is I know a bit of Pantola, I know a bit of Banga, I know a bit of Survivor, Sportras. Those are the other street dance styles that give to Amapiano. But obviously now I'm an Amapiano dance teacher, and I would say I'm an all-round just Amapiano connoisseur, Amapiano um, culture ambassador, educator. Because I feel like I'm more of an educator, so I that's how I do my thing. I don't just teach the dance. I teach about the culture. I teach about the languages. I teach about the people. I teach about the history of South Africa. I teach about our landscape, what's happening right now in South Africa politically. Sometimes in the classes, and also like music wise. So yeah, so I try to give people. I try to paint a picture when it comes to like my dance workshop experiences. I try to paint a whole picture about South Africa and what kind of a place it is, and yeah, so that's what I do. That's who
Well,
I am.
that's a lot. Thank you so much. So I'm going to introduce myself too. So my name is Angel. I am Congolese and a Caribbean from Martinique, the French Caribbean Martinique. I am born and raised in Belgium, but I am also French. And I moved to New York 15 years ago, and I've been teaching essentially hip hop basics and Afrodance for the past 20 years now. I like to say 20 because if I really say for how long I've been teaching, actually 28 years because I started teaching super young, initially hip hop.
Mm,
So my background as a dancer is ballet. I did ballet for like 14 years, and then I started hip hop. So hip hop is really my first love, and Afro dance is really my roots. And then, as you may know, before we didn't call all of that Afro dance. It was just a bunch of social dances, and then culture, everything. Like as Africans or Caribbeans or Black people in general, we are surrounded by culture every single time. Dance and music is really a part of us and what we do. So it was not such a thing to start like naming stuff and then gatekeeping stuff, because for us it's just like how we grew up. But you know what?
mm,
I like the fact that it's becoming such an important thing that we have to do live like that. We have to
mm,
call out people, be like, "Hey, what you're doing is not absolutely completely correct. Here is how you should, or we recommend you to do this or to don't do that." I feel
mhm,
like finally is our time to shine, to express, explore, and protect, and appreciate it. You know what I mean? Even if it didn't start
mm.
like that. I like what we're doing. I like us. So let's get into it. So, is Afro dance a real technique? I like to say yes and no, but to be super, super transparent, I would say no, because
Uh-huh.
to me, Afro dance is with a S.
Mhm,
It's a bunch of street and social dances from Africa and its diaspora. So now Afro dance to me is not really one style. I like to use the umbrella term Afro dance to kind of create like a big category, because also, when the whole thing started exploding, really in the US 2013, early 2010s, like that.
mhm,
everything was like labeled under Afrobeats, which I would disagree, and I'm gonna say why. Not because, oh, I just think like it's not fair for Nigeria and Ghana that everything is labeled Afrobeat. What is not? Dombolo has nothing to do with Afrobeat.
Right.
Amapiano has nothing to do with Afrobeat. People came
Right.
for Tyler for that, but she was right. Amapiano is Amapiano, is not Afrobeat, right? So.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'm Congolese. I don't teach Afrobeat. I'm not from Ghana. I'm not from Nigeria. I don't have that in me. I don't want to
Hmm.
lie to people. So I probably use Afrobeats before just because, you wanted to do like everybody else. And you like, and then after that, I was like, am I lying to these people? I mean, actually, it's not really Afrobeat because I do Dombolo. So now when I have Nigerians who come and take class with me, it's like, this is not Afrobeat yet because I'm Congolese, So
Right.
all conversations like we do now, the Afrodance, the term Afrodance came out. And then people's like, you know what? Okay. Some people still are resistant to the word Afrodance, which I understand. They're like, it's
Hmm.
misleading people. We need to label every style like it is. I understand that. And I would like to push for that. Maybe 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we're going to be able to go and teach and just be like, this is Amapiano or this is Dombolo or this is Kuduru, and people will understand. But I still think
Right.
like on the bigger picture, on the bigger vision, if we call it Afro dances and as teacher educator specifying what we're doing, I don't think it's gonna hurt the culture. And I don't think like we lying people. Also in the West, in the commercial dance industry, when people take an African dance style before they were expecting traditional. So there was
Hmm.
a lot of things also that needs to be clarified and continue to grow. But as far as now, I'm advocate for Afro dances. And yeah, so Afro dance to me is not one single style. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, of course, you mentioned the rise of Afro beats, especially like in the US, that 2013, between 2013 and 2016, it was quite big. And actually, funny enough, the first Afro beat song that I heard
Mm,
was Davido, and it was why am I forgetting this? But he was the first Afrobeats artist that I came across, and then I think after that I came across Wizkid, and then one of his first songs was "Holla at Your Boy." If you see me passing by, holla at your
mhm,
boy, from Wizkid, right? And then, oh yes, Davido was Damiduro. Oh, is it Damiduro? So that time we're
mm,
like, what is this Nigerian music? And this is playing in South Africa at that time, um, so it's great that you mentioned about like the rise of Afrobeat and how it's been taken around the world. And yes, obviously I do agree about the umbrella term Afro dance that
mhm.
encompasses many other dances, especially your street style dances from these different countries,
Yeah.
and I think it's high time people learn about uh, the different styles under Afro dance and the specific countries that they come from, the specific cultures, the specific music that is danced to, and obviously the specific feelings and stances like that you use in different styles. Because Azonto is different from Amapiano,
Mhm,
Amapiano is different from Ndombolo, Ndombolo is different from Kubi de Kale. You understand? So people
mhm,
have to know that it's not one single style, one umbrella term. It's just there's many things under. There's many things under Afro dance, and I think it's high time we start educating people about that. And that's why also like I believe so much in teachers that kind of like teach one style so that they have students that they can home into one style and
mhm.
then have a lot of knowledge about one style. Because like I understand some people can like cross teach and teach many things, but I feel like it's like you are a master of like many things, but you don't really hone into one. You understand?
Yeah.
And I feel
Yeah.
like if you put all your strength into like one style, then you can give it your all. You understand? You can be
Yeah.
the greatest. You can be the greatest dancer. We're not saying dance one style, dance hip hop, dance whatever, or dance asonto, dance piano here and there. But when you teach, I feel like you should just teach one thing so that you don't confuse people. Because people try to tend to take too many things, but like, and then they don't have the real knowledge behind the style and behind the culture. You get what I mean? But yeah, it's high time we educate people. It's high time people get educated as well, because sometimes you want to teach things, but it's a give and take situation. We have to give, but they have to be wanting to take the knowledge from us and wanting to learn from many multiple teachers from multiple countries, multiple cultures, multiple dance styles. So yeah, so I think it's high time that we take Afro dance and we put it on also on the educational level. We know that Afro dance exists as a form of happy dance, but there's culture, there's heritage, there's stories, there's history behind all the dances where they come from. So yeah, so that's
Yeah.
my opinion on that. Yeah.
So you referring to Afrofusion actually, right? So it's like this thing
Yeah.
of fusing everything and then the risk of it.
The
Is
risk.
it exactly? Is it like you were fusing because you don't know? So then you probably being like afraid of being called out, and then people start realizing you don't know one style very well, so then you're just fusing. So there is a danger behind it, so I think is great to especially if you're not from that culture. And I'm going to specify like what is the difference when you are from the culture, like you and I, we both Africans, or when you're not from the cultures. I mean, you're not African at all, and you are teaching a style that is not rooted into your culture. Can you teach? Yes, definitely. But I feel like there are more risk when you're not from the culture to make mistakes, to misleading people, and to do cultural appropriation versus like cultural appreciation, because sometimes you don't know what you're doing is not appropriate. So Afrofusion, I don't like to use the term Afrofusion when it comes to my class and my style because I know what I do. I am Congolese, so my root is Dombolo. Am I the best dancer in Dombolo? No. I'm not the best dancer in Dombolo because guess what? I'm not a dancer. I teach dance. Now an educator, I'm a dance teacher, I'm a dance instructor. I do that. Like that's my full-time job, right? I don't perform. Last time I performed was in 2012. I don't miss performing. I've been teaching, like I said, for 28 years. I've been around. So what I like to do is teaching, choreographing, directing, storytelling, all of that I love, right? And I would like to bring more of Afro dances, African dance, African culture into those spaces. So I do not dance. And it's not because I don't dance, and it's not because I don't post videos of me doing collaboration with people from around the world, bare feet in Africa, with poor kids, or kids that look poor, that I'm not relevant into my own culture, right? So I feel
Right.
like Afrofusion can be a risk because you're mixing stuff from different culture, African culture, that sometimes you don't know. But that doesn't mean don't do it if you want to do it. We welcome everybody. I mean, African culture in general is a culture, a global, I would say, like a culture that everybody is welcome, which sometimes can be also, we need to stop welcoming everybody, but that's it for another life. Let's go back to the Afrofusion. I would recommend, if you're not from the culture, to, like you said, maybe learn or focus on one style to
Mm.
start. That doesn't mean you have to stay there. That means your main style is dombolo, coupe décalé, kuduru, afro house, amapiano, pansula, azonto, Niger style, whatever that is. You have something that you like, something that makes you
Mm.
feel special. When you hear the music, you will feel it. If you
Mm.
really want to teach African dance, if you really want to be a part of this thing, when you're going to play the music, it's going to resonate inside of you for absolutely no reason. It is not something that you can
Right.
describe. You know what I mean? Like Amapiano, to me, it's amazing. I love it, but Amapiano doesn't resonate in my body the same way, for instance, Dombolo does. So I
Mm.
can pick a song and kind of fuse with it, but you will always even find in my posture that I'm Congolese. I'm very grounded. Like the waistline is water. Like the way we grab the
Mm.
musicality as Congolese is completely different from South Africans. But I feel like we have something in common, which to me is this natural groove. Like South Africans, you guys have a groove that is like almost like it's very hard to describe. It's not offbeat, it's not on beat. It's just weird. I feel like it's its own thing. When you guys do I'm like, it's just different. I can pretend that I kind of know, but I don't know. I would never be able to dance like a South African ever. I don't want actually, because I think some people
Right.
are doing it better than me. So why do I have to specifically hop on everything because it's trendy? South Africa is not where I am from. South African culture
Mm.
is not my culture, but as an African woman, I love it. I love watching you
Right.
guys doing your things, and then sometimes in there I'll pick a song and I will vibe with it. So I would recommend, if you're not from the culture, to really pick one style. Now, same thing for us. Africans. You have
mm,
to know your shit. You have to know what you're doing and why. It's not because you're
mm,
African that you can teach all the styles and do also like, because it's also misleading people who are outside of the
mm,
culture. Try to understand, try to learn, try to be like, we want to be a part of these things. But someone told me there, and someone told me that, and someone is doing this, and this other guy told me this. Like, there's so many people when they come into class with me, I correct even their posture. So there is something
mm.
like common elements I'm going to describe. I'm going to share with you, and you tell me what you think, right? Common elements in Afro dance. For me, there was like the posture. I have my notes. The
Mhm,
posture that there was something like we like engaging the core. We like kind of, it's
mhm.
very rare that you see someone that is uptight like that doing Afro dance, any Afro
Right,
dance,
right.
right? So the posture is there. The plie, we're always grounded, always like bend your knees because there is this groundedness, this groove that is there. Like I said,
Right.
engage your core. Light on your feet, especially for those who like to do kuduru, Afro house de Angola, or amapiano. You have to be light on
Mm,
your feet. Body weight
mm,
shift, like we shift from a thing to another thing quickly. So if you're not light on
mm.
your feet, if you're not grounded, if you don't engage your core, actually you can hurt yourself, and you can also have other people who take in class with you hurting themselves. So it's very important
Right.
to understand the technicality of it when you position yourself as a teacher and an educator. And then the last aspect that is not super codified is the arm texture. There is stuff with the
Mm,
arms that is not codified like in ballet or jazz and stuff like that, but there is an aesthetic, there is an essence that
mm.
we don't teach. There's the things that you have to feel. And the more you take
Right.
class with one teacher, or the more you learn one style, you're going to start recognizing like common stuff about those arms. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to me, that's just what I wanted to share. To don't make the video super like technical. But what do you think about those elements?
Uh, you hit the nail on, like, on the dot. Like,
Mhm.
there's this. I was even teaching, like, I taught a workshop in Malaysia for my like my last part of the tour, and I kept on telling students to, like, engage your core. Like, if your core is very flimsical,
Mm.
you won't be able to have control. Con- Control is core. Control is this part, your midsection, basically, and that's where the dance really comes from. So obviously that core has to be really controlled, has to be really strong, has to have the utmost technique, and obviously, yes, light on your feet. Amapiano, as you say, Amapiano is very light, very light. You have to be very, very light on your feet to dance Amapiano and other styles as well. Um, the arm texture, very, very interesting thing, and I actually have never thought about. But I think there's specific arms for specific styles, and or specific arm aesthetics for specific styles that,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we can teach. You just have to feel it, and you have to see, and you have to just kind of like grab it over time by taking multiple classes, not one or two classes, but multiple classes. Because I feel like people are very impatient nowadays, because some people just want to blow up and be viral and know the style like now. I'm like, bro, we've been dancing for such a long time. How do you want to expect to come and master ndombolo when I've been dancing ndombolo for 20 years, or I've been dancing amapiano or certain styles for like 10 years, and then you want to come in and take a couple of classes, and then you want to call yourself someone who's a expert? It doesn't work like that. So I feel like with people and not developing and progressing, it's the problem is just impatience.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just impatience. And if people
Mm-hmm.
could be like patient, just like they're patient for like some hip hop styles. Like, when you're a break dancer, you train for years. You train for years. You scrape those knees, you scrape those elbows, you get injured, but you train for years to become a b-boy. And people need to understand you have to train for years as well to become an Afro dancer. We have to take it as serious as that, because it's also a form of dance. Hip hop is a street style. Afro is also Afro street style, mostly street styles, but it must be respected in the same way in terms of putting in the time and the effort and the correct skill, and having the right mentors and teacher also to guide you on the way. Because some people are like, I'm taking classes, but who are you taking classes for?
Yeah. And then
We have to
also
be
it's
honest about.
something you said something very, very important. You mentioned hip hop, which is also a style that I teach, because hip hop is the style that really gave me a voice as an artist. Because remember, my background is ballet. I did ballet for 14 years. And then I was not myself. I didn't have a voice. It was too strict. Whatever. Ballet is great as a technique. I love it. But to me, it was more a traumatizing experience than really something that helped me to be, the confident artist that I am today. I'll be lying. But I'll be lying also to say like ballet didn't help me. Ballet helped me a lot. And I think the fact that I'm probably so strict with technique probably come from ballet. I don't know. But to go back to
Right.
hip hop was created here in the US by black and brown people, especially Africans, Americans, and Latinos here in the Bronx, New York. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't know that, and I'm always in shock to me, right? Um, like you said, hip hop turned like 50 years, like 15 and plus years, which is still young for an art form compared to ballet, right? So hip hop has also
Mhm.
its own, struggle when it comes to recognition and stuff like that. And people do also disrespect hip hop and take 5 classes and then teach themselves because now we have social media, you have a platform, you don't have to work hard as well. But hip hop comes from the United States of America. Well, Afro dances
Mhm.
comes from the continent Africa. So the fact there is also
Mhm.
multiple countries under the umbrella term of Afrodance also creates sometimes confusion. So I think people need to also understand like it's very hard to compare Afrodance and hip hop as technique, as styles, because the
Mhm.
complexity of Afro dances. And I think it's very
Mhm.
important to me, and this is my theory. I believe that there are only 7 countries who are like the founders of what we call Afro dance today, because remember, those dances exist way before the term, way before early 2010s, obviously, right?
Mhm.
I've been doing Dombolo since I was born and other dance, my dad is from the Kasai, we're from the Luba tribe. So there were so many dances that you cannot even name, right? But
Mhm.
to me, then this is my theory, because I have a course that is Rock Your Roots that I specifically developed for people who want to teach Afro dance, not for the people who want to perform, but the people who really want to teach from a place of understanding. Right. And it's
Mhm.
very humbling. Like people don't want to humble themselves. They just want to teach because it's
Mhm.
fun. They want to teach because of whatever, because of being relevant, because of it's trendy, because of social media, because they
Right.
love it. Like there were so many reasons. They're not all bad, right? But it's very
Mhm.
hard for them to humble themselves before teaching Afro dance. It's this thing that is
Mhm.
accessible to them. So let me go back to what I believe are the founders of what we call Afro dance today. To me, first of all, it's sub-Sahara. So it's the everything below the Sahara. The north of
Mhm.
Africa doesn't really, to me, they're not included when it comes to the foundation of Afro dances. The Maghreb is not really included when it comes to that. Yes, they're a part of the African continent, but when it comes to Afro dances, no. Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, 7 countries for me are the founders of what we call today Afrodance, right? Congo, obviously, not because I'm from Congo, but Congo. As a South African, the influence of Congolese music and Congolese artists,
Yes.
and the same
Yes.
way we know
Yes.
the influence of South Africa when it comes to even civil rights movement and stuff like that. So South Africa is a
Mhm.
very strong country. So I will definitely start with Congo and South Africa for sure, and then
Mhm.
Nigeria, Ghana, Angola, um, um, Ivory Coast, and
Mhm.
Cameroon. People
Mhm.
always forget about Cameroon, but Cameroonian
Right.
people, they can dance everything. People from
Mhm.
Cameroon, remember what I said about South African, Congolese? We have our way to dance. It's very different. Coupe
Mhm.
décalé, it's its own thing, but Coupe décalé also pull a lot into Congolese culture and music. They will let you
Mhm.
know. If you know Coupe décalé, you know the story of Coupe décalé, you know very much so that Coupe décalé and Dombolo is connected, right?
Mhm.
Even they're on the west, they're still connected with the central of Africa, right?
Mhm.
Angola and Congo before colonization, they were sharing the same. It was the Kingdom of Congo, so a part of Angola was actually a part of Congo. So you can
Mhm.
also feel and recognize rhythmically there is some stuff there like
Mhm.
similar. In my family, I have people from Angola, so I've been dancing
Oh.
kuduro, didn't even know it was kuduro because in my family people speak
Mhm.
multiple languages, and I'm like, why auntie such and such speak Portuguese? Yeah, 'cause she's from Angola. Oh, so she's Congolese and Angolan. Okay, makes sense why I've been,
Mhm.
listening to those rhythms for my whole life.
Mhm.
So this is my theory. And to me, that doesn't mean other countries are not as strong or they're not a part of the conversation. But to
Right.
me, they're not a part of the roots, establishing strong roots for Afro dances. Maybe it will evolve and other countries will start like pouring into it. But if you really look at it, you really look at around Congo, who are the countries who are around Congo, even Kenya, very strong in music. They have a strong like house music, for instance. Kenya, Uganda, even
Mm.
Tanzania. Even when you look
Mm.
at an artist like Diamond Platinums, there was a lot of Congolese influence in his music. I'm not saying people from Tanzania doesn't have their own culture. They do, but it is as strong as Congo or as strong as South Africa when it started first. I don't think so. So those
Mm.
elements you need to, I had to research that, research traveling, like observing people, watching what
Mm.
people are doing, asking questions to elders. This is the reason why I position myself as an educator, as someone who fight for the culture, because I've been pouring and putting so much time into the research. As an African myself, I will forever
Mm.
be a student. What do you think?
For sure. I mean, the countries who are the roots. I think you got it on spot, like spot on as well. And also, like, I don't know if people know, but I don't know if people know the, like you said, the influence of Ndombolo and Congo on South Africa. I remember in the early 2000s as well, we used to dance something called kwasa kwasa. But when you look at kwasa kwasa, it's Ndombolo.
Yeah.
And even some of the music that was produced, that was sort of like kwaito or sort of like low key house music, had a lot of that ndombolo kind of stance in the music. And actually, like when I listen to it now, I'm like, "Ah, we were dancing to Congolese music in a very
If
Congolese way, but we
you are
called
my
it kwasa
brother,
kwasa."
if you are African and you dancing any
Mm.
social or street dance, you know the importance of Congo. I don't even, it's not because I'm
Yeah.
Congolese. These are the stuff that I researched. The first time that I went to
Yes.
Africa in my life was in Zimbabwe. It was not even Congo.
Mm.
Let me tell you
Mm.
something. When I told the people over there, it was 2006. When I told people I'm Congolese, they were like, "What?" It's like I was a queen. I didn't even know how
Mm.
Congo was influential on the continent of Africa until I got there myself. Because I born and raised in Europe.
Right.
So these are my research. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I already knew how important and influential Congo was, music wise, dance wise,
Mhm.
cultural. I had no idea because I am born in Europe where I've been experiencing a lot of racism. And I'm born and raised
Mhm.
in Belgium, that Belgium colonized Congo. So I had no idea how powerful was Congo until I went to Africa myself. So yeah, sorry, didn't
Right.
want to interrupt you, but yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that influence, and also, Panzola's influence on Kuduro and Afro House as well. People need to note that as well.
Yeah.
So, the countries that you named, they also, like, the interconnectedness of it and the movements make sense. And also, like, that central region, it kind of makes
Mhm.
sense for, like, Congo to be central to that. And also for, like, Southern Africa. Um, that SADC area as well. I think, yeah, South Africa is like one of the, like, South Africans actually have dance styles that are very similar to the way people in Namibia dance, the way people in Zimbabwe dance, the way in Botswana, and even Zambia, very similar to how we dance. And also music genres as well. I never knew that in Zambia they listened to Kwaito. In East
Mhm.
Africa, they listened to Kwaito. People knew, no, no, we listen to Kwaito. I'm like, well, how do you guys know Kwaito? It's like, oh, we used to listen to Kwaito back in the 90s and back in the
Mhm.
2000s. And I didn't know, like, Kwaito, which is like a forefather music genre from South Africa, is like big in East Africa, in places like Zambia as well. So those founding countries, those seven roots, I think, yes, yes.
Yeah. I call it the Big Seven. I call it the Big Seven, and it's in my
People
course.
will fight us. People will fight us. They'll be like, hey, hey, what? Hey, they'll fight
I
us.
don't,
Africa.
I don't think so. I don't think people will fight that because it's just the truth. I'm not saying 10 years from now, maybe the list of seven will become, I don't know, 10 or 15 because of the
Right.
fact that Afro dances are evolving every single day. I was watching a
Exactly.
video I don't know, a couple of days ago in Congo, in the eastern region of Congo, where there was like all the, whatever, we're not going to be political right now, but I was watching a video and there's this dude. So there was like a big truck. The big truck was trying to pass and it was just crazy, so it was a lot of commotion and stuff like that. So it was the guy
Mhm.
next to the big truck was like kind of guiding the driver. So it was like, yeah, Hey, Bima, autobus. I don't know what he was saying because I don't speak that language from that region. So he was like, yeah, I don't know what he was saying. And he was so excited that the truck could pass that he was starting doing this dance and he was shaking his thighs, shaking, and he was giving the direction to the driver. And that right there can become like the dance of autobus. That right
Right.
there can be trending tomorrow.
Right.
Removing from the context, just taking the movement. Oh, it's a new trend. So I don't know. I don't know which country is going to do what in the next 5 to 10 years right now. But when it comes to today, and then people want information. So if you really want information, these are my research. Everything that I post on my social media right now is free, so you guys can
Mm.
have access to it. So I want someone to come now and tell me, you know what, I don't think I disagree with that because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm
Mm.
always open for honest, transparent conversation. I'm not always right. Like I used Afrobeat
Right.
before until I realized, like, wait, this is not right. Afrodance as an umbrella term is still young. You know what I mean? So we have a lot to do together as a community. And I feel like I think like we should do better because we have information that are available. I think people don't want to do the work. Like you said something
Yeah.
very important. You said people are impatient. And I feel like
Mm.
that is everything quick, quick, quick. And why is it? I wanna have your opinion on that. Why is it when it's everything that is Afrocentric, because I can put salsa and hip hop even in it. People want to learn it quick. People don't want to put the work into it. For some reason, they feel like it's just accessible and easy to get. When it comes to those Eurocentric art forms, it's not like that. When you go and you take a ballet class, I did ballet for 14 years. I never questioned my teachers about doing the bar for 45 minutes. When you go and take a ballet class for the first 45 minutes, you're going to do bar, you're going to do pliés, relevés, you're going to do all the positions. Nobody is complaining. Nobody is going to tell to the older Russian ballet teacher, my teacher from Italia told me this. No, because it's ballet. So why
Mm.
is it that when it's African dance and when it's Afrocentric movement, people don't want to do the work, the same work? They don't evaluate, they question us, they push us, and they think 6 months from after taking the class, they know better than us or equally. You just said you've been teaching
Mm.
for 6 years. I've been teaching for 28 years. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, for you to come and challenge me on certain things, you have to put the work. It's not because I'm better than you. It's just because I've been
Right.
doing it longer. So because of these
Mm.
years of expertise and failing, I made so many mistakes as a teacher myself. So then here I am
Right.
in terms of level. So if you just started 6 months ago to teach, I'm not talking about dancing. I'm talking about teaching.
Teach.
How are you going to
Mm.
challenge someone that's been doing teaching for 28 years? You can challenge me. I'm open to it. But how? Who am I to go into a ballet class and start challenging a teacher who's teaching for 45 years? Who am I to do that? I do not understand why people think like with African dance or everything that's rooted into Afrocentrism, it's so easy for them. What do you think and what been your experience with that, my brother?
I mean, I think also the two words, colonialism and
Mm,
Eurocentric. I use those two words. Colonialism in terms of like Africa was always looked as, or Africans or African art was always looked at lesser than, subpar,
mm,
second to most things. You understand? Because of how Africa was looted, still being looted.
mm,
But anyway, so all we were always looked at as like second class human beings with whatever we have. Our art. So our art will always be sort of like an artifact, something nice, something, an accessory for people to use. That's why they don't
mm,
respect it, because it's an accessory that they can buy, that they can have access to, because they can travel to Africa or they can have online classes, blah, blah, blah. You know, because it's so also accessible, too
mm,
accessible at times,
mm,
the lack of respect for it comes with that.
mm.
Second word, the Eurocentric. You know, you spoke something about ballet. They respect ballet. White or Eurocentric forms of dance styles get way respected more. Those ones they have, oh, you have to be a certain level, or this technique, or whatever, you know. But when you talk about technique in Afro dance, they're like, but what do you mean? Afro dance is free. It's a form of expression. It's kind of more fluid, but no, not really. Not really.
It's funny.
There's something, there's basis, there's foundation to those styles. You understand? So I think those really are the two main problems of why Afro dance or African art is not respected. That one did because of those two reasons. And I hope and wish that as Africans, because this is our thing, right? We can't wait for a savior to come save us, to come protect this thing in real time. We have to be the ones that stand up and be like, we're gonna protect this thing because this thing is ours and we want to take it and give it to the next generation, so the next generation give it to the next generation in the right way, while it's
Mm-hmm.
sacred and protected. We have to tell the people, even the people that we teach now in these different countries, but this thing is sacred. You don't take 6 months and then you learn about an entire culture. No, that's not how it happens. It doesn't work like that. No, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be serious also as Africans, not to be very lenient with some people, because obviously my people, my people have been living in survival mode. So even when
Mm-hmm.
you're there, you cannot, sometimes people are too shy to speak their mind and protect what's theirs and say, no, that's not right, because you gotta say, that girl or that person, that guy can give me a check for my next class, so I can't really say something that's gonna ruffle the feathers. Survival. We need to stop living in survival and start taking our power back and be like, Afro dance time is now and it's very valuable, but we have to keep it sacred and we have to protect it by all means necessary. We can share it. We don't mind. We've been sharing so many things for so many centuries, our resources, our everything, our people, everything, and we'll continue to share because that's how Africans are. But let's share with intelligence. Let's share with guidance. Let's share with a purpose. You understand? Let's share knowing that this is our sacred things that we have to pass on in the right way as well to the right people, so that they can continue that heritage, that culture moving forward, so that we don't forget who we are and we see clearly where we are going.
You may so like yeah, there's so much. But let's try to stay focused to the conversation. I'm so
Yeah.
inspired. We have questions, so let's address the questions.
Yes,
But I'm
Daria has questions. Yes.
100% with you, and I feel like I posted something about the Afrodance ego, where there was a lot of what you're referring to, also for us Africans or educators as the community of Afrodance, not only Africans, but everybody who's like calling themselves teachers. So Daria, am I pronouncing
Mm.
your name well?
Daria.
Oh, Daria. So Daria
She's from
asked, oh, he.
she's from Romania. She's from Romania.
Okay.
She.
She. Okay. So she asked, what are the few ways you think it will help the big public? I mean, like everybody,
Mhm.
entering the community, the Afrodance community, understanding the background and the importance of culture and basics, not just trendy. So, and also she asked, how can we shift the attention of new students from TikTok trends to basics? I can respond when it comes to what I do, the way I teach, because I'm not a trendy teacher. So I'm not gonna hop on any TikTok or challenge. And I don't hop on the Amapiano, for instance, trend right now because of
Mm.
what I said already earlier. That I'm not South African, and Amapiano doesn't resonate in my body the same way it resonates into my brother's body, for instance. I love it. I'm enjoying it, but this is not something that I feel called to teach. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
then if I would do my research, I would do the exact same thing that I did for Afro House and Kuduro, even Coupe Decade. Coupe Decade, I have a different relationship with it, but so that's what it is. So me, for instance, Angel Kaba in New York, teaching in this major dance studio, very commercial, where people come with a very specific goal. I do the same thing that ballet teachers are doing. I respect the art form. I respect the culture. I respect my
Mm.
culture and I respect myself. Or I would be able to stay and to last in spaces like that. Because at the end of the day, people want to learn technique. People will pay for a service and they expect quality. That's it. So people don't pay $30 to come and take class with me in this big studio just to be entertained by trends. And I think like when
Mm.
you really take this job very seriously, I mean, teaching it's a career, it's a job. It's not just something that's fun.
Mm.
So to me, I teach every week 6 classes. I have to be
Mhm.
consistent. I have to come with a format. I have to deliver. Otherwise, I won't have a job and I won't be able to feed my daughter. So there is no
Right.
question about how to entering it. The question is asking yourself what it is that you want to do with African dance. Is it your
mm,
job? Is it your career? Or is it something that you do on the side? I feel like if that's what you do to feed yourself, if that's what you do as a career, I mean, then it's a question of professionalism. Imagine
mm,
going and taking a tap class, and when the teacher is teaching you a TikTok trend. I feel like people need so all times. I feel like people need also to kind of dissociate. Like as soon as you turn off your phone, TikTok doesn't exist anymore, right? So
mm,
when I'm in the
mm.
space with my student for 90 minutes, I have to be present. I don't have to teach them TikTok. TikTok is a what 10 second, 15 second that you post on. That's it. It doesn't exist. It's not tangible. I mean, as long as you don't have
Right,
your phone in your hand. So people need to stop that. Let's just
right,
talk about the form. Let's talk about what it is teaching. You know what I mean? So when I start my class, I never think about what it is that I have to do for people to be interested. People are already interested because they paid for the class. Now,
right.
my responsibility as a teacher is to teach. Now, sometimes I see I'm not crazy, right? I see some challenges I love. I'm like, hey guys, let's do. So instead of doing my regular warm up, I'm like, let's do this trend that I saw on TikTok, on Instagram. I think it's cool. They're all excited. Oh yeah, da, da, da. And then I give them time at the end of the class to record themselves if they want to, and if they want to go on Times
Mm-hmm,
Square because I teach next to Times Square, they go and they do videos themselves. I don't care. So yes, the
mm,
entertainment part is there. We're not crazy. You know what I mean? But to
mm-hmm,
me, it's not that important. I don't dream about TikTok. I don't care about TikTok or even Instagram when I teach because I'm focusing on what I do on my job. Like I said, I've been teaching for so long. If I was not good, I wouldn't be able to be here. I moved from Europe to come to the US to become an artist. I'm now an international artist, not because I've been teaching everywhere, it's because I have multiple experiences into different countries where I was getting paid to do my job for a long period of time. Belgium,
mm,
France, now the United States of America, and now I'm tapping into Africa, specifically Senegal. I'm very interested about there. We bought lands and stuff like that. So I'm not international just because I'm on social media. I was already before all of that. So I feel like to go back to your question, Daria, is like as soon as you play the music, as soon as you start your warm up, what it is that you want to do, what it is that you put, what you want the people to learn from you. And if it goes beyond choreography, then you have your answer. I don't think we have to specifically create a science to dissociate social media for what we're doing because it's already a fact. If you go somewhere in South Africa, in a village that people don't have access to the internet the way they do in the city, for instance, people are dancing there. I don't think they're questioning themselves about the next trend of TikTok. But if you go there, you dance with them, you play the music, they're going to dance. Do they know the technicality, the posture? No, they don't. But they still dance authentically. So I feel like for us educators in this Western mindset, we also have to pay attention to how we entering the space and then leading by example. Everybody will come. I have people who are professionals taking class with me and are challenged because of the way I teach.
mm,
And there is no question when it comes to that. So I feel like when you're entering, and I think it's a question also for people who are not from the culture. Because when
mm,
it's your culture, you don't question that. You just do it. Now, it's not
mm-hmm,
because you're from the culture that you know better, or you're a good teacher. Maybe you're a great dancer that can teach too. But that doesn't make you an educator. Doesn't make you someone who know the culture more than somebody who spent years of learning. So I feel like it creates social anxiety to associate Afro dances to social media and the trends. It creates so much stress and anxiety that we don't
mm.
need. That's my take on it. But what do you think?
I mean, I think me and Daria, we've spoken about this because I met her last year during my tour, right? So she's like a very, very fond new friend that I found on my journey. She's based in Romania, in Cluj, and she's been studying under Manuel Kanza, right? So she teaches Afrodance. So that's why she's asking actually, because some of the students come to her class and they want the trendy stuff, And I think we had this chat, her and I, as like, you have to just stick to what you want to do. Like, what is your purpose? What is your vision? What do you see for your purpose and for your craft and for what you are giving? Like, stick to that. Be very, very strong on what you want to teach. Social media, TikTok challenges, whatever, it's there. We can't like take it away. It's there, it's present. But this as well, the teaching, the correct education of dance as an art, it's still going to be there as well for years and years to come. It's still going to be there. So whether you want to fall off the bandwagon and do something for clout, for money, for fame, whatever, um, that's up to you. But how do you want to be remembered as well? Like, what kind of impact? What's your lasting legacy? Is your lasting legacy going to be the dance teacher who taught us TikToks, or the dance teacher who taught us the foundation and education and history of a certain dance style? So yeah, that's my answer to that.
I hope, Daria, that was a long answer. I hope that it,
Yeah.
I hope that it helps. Please feel free to
Yeah.
ask other questions. You can even come on the live if you want to. You can always DM me. I'm trying to respond as much as I can. And yeah, so yeah, I try. And I'm very good on using social media. It's not even that. Actually, I went to school to do marketing, and I specialized myself into digital marketing. So I built
Mm,
websites, landing pages, funnels, and all of that. So I'm very well versed when it comes to that. But again, but maybe because I've been doing it for so long, that to me is two different things. It's almost like a social media or marketing, it's a tool for me to promote my work, but my work is already
right.
very established and strong and clear. My voice as an artist is also like very clear. People know, she's strict, or she's she's, oh my god, she's mean. Like, I have so many things that people think, that I don't care, because I know who I am. If you think that I'm strong, that I'm strict, that I'm mean, that's you. That's what you think. But then when you come and you take class with me, people have fun, people learn, people challenge themselves, and then people are
Mm,
celebrating themselves. Every single my class, it's a party. I'm very big on
mm,
music. I love music. You will hear a lot of French music, French speaking music. That's why sometimes people like. That's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't have to hop on Amapiano, which I love. I'm not saying that I don't
mm,
have to, because when you come and you take class with Angel, it's a different class from K. It's a different class from
mm,
Manuel Kwanzaa. It's a different class from X, Y, and Z. And that's the beauty of it, right? So I don't specifically dwell over all of that, because to me it's not that relevant, but I just use it as a tool to promote my work. And that's
right.
what it is. So hopefully that makes sense. Daria, if I pronounce your name well with my French accent. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. So how will you do the Afro dance? Isn't so the kind of, to summarize a little bit, the message was Afrodance isn't a single technique. It's a growing cultural ecosystem.
Mhm,
The danger is forgetting the foundations and the roots and the story. And what is important is how you will show up. We just talked about that. Will
mhm,
you protect the roots or just watch them fade? And also the commercialization of the story of Afro dances. Like, again, as a teacher, educator, or even a dancer, is like what it is that you want people to remember
mm,
when they dance with you, when they watch you dance, or when they take class with you. You go and take certain class for certain things, to work on certain techniques. I had a conversation with one of my students. I love her. She's from China, but based here. And she was like, I went and then she said, I went and I take, I think it was a jazz funk class. And she said, my Afro dance technique couldn't help me. And I said, yeah, because it's different. She was like, but it was helping me for the longest. I'm like, yeah, but it's different. I said, I encourage
yeah.
you now to go and take this class and explore different ways of
Right.
you and your, because it's beautiful. She's like, you think so? I'm like, yeah, I think you should explore other styles and stuff and continue to grow as a dancer. I feel like
Mm, mm,
also, like I said, me as a dancer started with ballet and then hip hop, multiple genre street styles like hip hop. I touch a little bit on popping and locking, house. I'm a
mhm,
big lover of house. Now I'm in the US, so I learned the difference between house from Philly or house from Chicago. I learn all these things. That doesn't mean I'm going to teach them, but dancehall
mm,
also, I'm Caribbean and all of that. Um,
mm,
I'm a dancer. I love to dance. So I'm not just gonna
mm,
limit myself to Afro dance. I can go into hop into a ballet class basic tomorrow and keep up. I can go and
mm,
take a jazz class and keep up.
Mm.
I cannot touch tap dancing though. But there was a lot of styles that I can, and also as a dancer, I booked jobs into so many things. I tour, I performed into a contemporary dance company. I did so much. So I encourage also Afro dancers to don't limit themselves, to continue
Right,
to
right.
grow as a dancer, as an artist. If you really want to do Afro dance, good. But why? You could do so many other things. And then when it comes to the other way around, people from hip hop or people who are teaching other techniques, they can come into Afro and get jobs just because they train. That doesn't mean they know the culture the way you do. So I would encourage my Africans or Afro dancers to explore other styles to strengthen, the experience as a dancer. Also, they educate. When you go to certain classes, you do certain things, and there's other things that you don't do. And then again, I've been teaching for 28 years. I don't want to reveal for how long I've been dancing. I'm very
Mm.
passionate about education, obviously. So yeah, maybe question yourself twice before you start teaching. Do I really want to teach, or I prefer
And
dancing?
why? And why? What, the thing is, I feel like people don't ask themselves why. Like when I do, like, why do you want to teach? Why? What is the reason? And be honest with yourself. If it's for money and if it's for fame, then you're in the wrong space. You're in the wrong job. Because dancing is really, we play a very important role in in people's livelihoods and also in this space for people and in this space for people, as we're not just movement instructors, we're not just dance teachers, we are sort of emotional shapeshifters,
Mm,
psychological like
emotional
betterment.
shape. Wow. You say
You
what?
understand?
Emotional shape shifters. Wow. You have some English word here.
Yeah,
Emotional shape shifters.
because because the thing is, I mean, we play a very important role in like what people feel. Because I always tell people, I want you to like feel something when you dance with me. I want you to remember, because I think it's a famous Maya Angelou quote. It's like I think she said, people will forget what you say or what you do, but
But
they'll
they
never forget
remember how you
how you,
make them feel.
how you make them feel. So I want you every single time you come to my class, I want you to feel something that you've never felt before. That is an out of body experience, but that is also a pleasant experience that is full of fun, full of love, and full of remembrance. Right.
Mm,
So if you're teaching for those reasons, like those pure reasons, then you're in the right space. But if you're teaching for reasons that are on the other side of the pond,
mm.
you kind of ruin it for us, because some people are like, okay, are we doing this? I don't think we're doing this for the same reason.
No, and that's fine. I think, like you said, your why. I mean, I'm
Mm.
enjoying talking to you. I really want to do it more often. I think we should do it every other week and come up with different topics. But to close
Yeah.
this live, because I don't want us to cut us. I don't want Instagram to cut this beautiful conversation. I will start, so to give you time. What are you think three words that defines your why as a teacher or an educator? Right. I go first. So
Mm.
for me, if I would have to pick three words, it would be culture, it will
Mm-hmm.
be celebration, and
Mm.
healing. What about you?
Mm. Mm. I would say love,
Ooh.
um, education, of course,
Uh-huh.
and impact.
Ooh. Okay. I like that.
Mm.
Okay, so there is like cultural celebration, healing, love, education, and impact. That's already very
Yeah.
powerful. And that's just you and I.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys who
Right.
are watching or will watch after when we're gonna post the live, we
Mm-hmm.
encourage you to dig into your why, and maybe you can DM us or even comment on this live if you see it. What are the three words that describe or define you as a teacher into the African dance or Afro dance space? And on that note, thank you so much for joining me. And I know it's late in China and it's
Right.
early in New York. So I will let continue. Maybe you go sleep. I don't know. Are you going to continue to this? I don't know. But let's continue this conversation. Maybe it becomes a podcast. We'll know. Thank you so much, my
Yeah.
brother, for joining me today.
Thank you
And
so much.
guys, remember, if you have questions, yeah, stay connected, stay in touch, don't be a stranger, don't be shy, there is no dumb questions. And then yeah.
Right. Much love, much love, much love to everybody that joined. Thank you, everyone that joined and listened to us. We're going to be doing this more. more, and we're gonna have more topics. We're gonna even have more guests also in the future, because there's so many people that follow us, that we would love to hear their side of their way of thinking about the Afro dance space. So yeah, I think this is a conversation that we can have every 2 weeks or something, so we can just continue sharing gems and just connecting with other people as well.
All right. Thank you. Bye.